All right, welcome back. This one should finish up this study guide. All right, I left off here with what is the correlation between engine size and fuel economy. Correlation tells me find an R. The table gave me an R squared, so square root the 0.609, and you should get a correlation of square root 0.78. I'm sorry, R equals 0.78. You'd only get partial credit for that one because eventually you look a little bit further down in this table and you see that a slope is negative. So remember, if slope is negative, your correlation is negative. Tricky. A car you were thinking of buying is available with two different size engines. So, two different size engines versus their gas mileage. So, one of them is 240, one of them is 190. Yeah, I'm going to clean that up. Engine size, so one of them is 240, 190, and you're thinking that this regression line is decreasing. So, actually have to find the output, the gas mileage for each of them, which means we need our full least squares regression line. Just remember to pull it out of a table. You're always looking under what says coefficients. And what's across from constant is the y-intercept. The other variable is going to be our slope. All of this I don't really care about yet. Anyways, that tells me predicted engine displacement. I'm sorry, that's the slope. So 0.066 times 240 plus 3498 and 0.066 times 190 plus 3498. I'm going to let you click pause and actually find those. All right, yeah, it's just putting into a calculator. So the one with 190 would have been, gives you 22.44, and 240 gives you 1914. If it says how much difference, just subtract the 2 and 3.3. All right, moving on to the last one. Read this one carefully. Researchers at the University of Denver Infant Study Center investigated whether babies take longer to learn to crawl in cold months, when they're often bundled in clothes that restrict their movement, than in warmer months. The study sought an association between babies' first crawling age in weeks and the average temperature during the month they first try to crawl, which is about 6 months after birth. Between 1988 and 1991, parents reported the birth month and age which their child was first able to creep or crawl a distance of 4 feet in a minute. Data was collected on 208 boys and 206 girls. The graph below plots average crawling ages in weeks against the mean temperatures when the babies were 6 months old. The researchers found the correlation of negative 0.7, and their best fit line was the predicted average age is 36 minus 0.08 times the average temperature out there. All right, so right here, jump up a bit, draw the line of best fit. Well, it's the one thing that I'd look for here, other than just eyeballing it, it has a y-intercept of 36, but it does have a break in this graph. So actually, maybe I wouldn't care as much about starting all the way at 36, but if there's a break in the graph, just kind of give it one of those. If it did start at 0 here, just make sure you'd have a 36 here. Describe the association and context. Just to be quick, I'd say something like it's moderately decreasing. I can say correlation because then You know it's linear. It's moderate because it's about 0.7 or negative 0.7. I definitely call this an outlier. So the other ones, I'm not so sure. But I'd say with at least one outlier. Explain what the slope means in context. So the slope is 0.08, but for each degree increase, we expect a decrease of 0.08 in crawling age. So now remember that's measured in days. Explain in context what the y-intercept of the line means. Well, the y-intercept is 36, so that means at 0 degrees, we expect it takes the kid 36 weeks to crawl it. However, that might be a bit of extrapolation since we don't actually have data for 0 degrees. It stops at 30. Explain in context what r squared is. Well, first, actually, you have to find it because r is negative 0.7, so r squared is 0.49. But 49% of variability in crawling age can be attributed to the variability in temperature. In context, what does a negative residual indicate? That the least squares regression line is an overestimate from what actually happened. Something like when you have that, the negative residual right here, or actually, you can even look up here. This negative residual means that the line predicted something along the lines of 32 days. This one actually took the kid somewhere about 28 days. All right. Test is, well, in 2018, the test is October 25th. If I use this in a future class, it might be a little bit different. Anyways, good luck.